A journey every parent faces. Imagine this. You've spent your life caring for your children, guiding them through the early years, helping them through school, and supporting their dreams. But now they're older, they're independent, maybe even adults, and suddenly it feels like you don't exist in their lives. They ignore your calls, brush off your advice, and worst of all, treat you like you're a burden. The sense of invisibility can be crushing. If you've ever experienced this or are going through it now, you're not alone. Many parents reach a point where their children seem distant, and the close bond they once had feels lost. It's as though respect and love, once so natural, have been replaced by indifference and detachment. This leaves many parents asking, how did it come to this? Today, we're diving into a story inspired by Buddhist Zen wisdom that offers timeless advice for navigating these complex relationships. Not only will we explore the lessons from Yumi's story, but we'll also uncover how these teachings can be applied to your life. By the end, you'll see how your relationship with your children can be transformed with patience, adaptability, and unconditional love. But first, let's set the stage with the ancient Zen story of Yumi and Master Hakuen. Yumi, like many parents, found herself in a position where her adult children no longer seemed to respect or value her presence. Their indifference was painful, and their words often cut deep. Seeking answers, she turned to Master Hakuen, a revered Zen monk known for his wisdom and serenity. Yumi approached Master Hakuen with a heavy heart, asking, "How can I maintain hope in the face of such distance? How do I restore the love and respect that once united us?" Master Hakuen listened patiently, then replied, "Your suffering, Yumi, is like a waterfall crashing against rocks, creating a swirl of negative emotions. But in Zen, we learn that even the most destructive forces can become sources of positive energy." What followed was a series of metaphors and lessons that would help Yumi, and can help all of us, transform suffering into an opportunity for growth. The waterfall of emotion, transforming pain into strength. Master Hakuen pointed to a small crystal waterfall in the temple's garden. "Observe the water, Yumi. It flows, overcoming obstacles, eventually reaching a place of peace." He explained that relationships, much like water, require flexibility, patience, and the willingness to adapt. Trying to force things back to the way they were only creates more resistance. Instead, embracing the flow of life allows us to move forward with serenity. The kite and the thread, letting go without losing connection. While Yumi's story and Master Hakuen's teachings offer deep wisdom, applying these concepts to everyday life is the true challenge. Every parent-child relationship is unique, with its own history, struggles, and dynamics. In this part, we'll explore real-life examples that illustrate how Zen principles can help heal strained relationships between parents and their children, providing not only hope, but also practical insights that you can implement in your own life. For example, the story of Susan and her teenage daughter, Emily Susan, a single mother in her early 40s, had always shared a close relationship with her daughter Emily. They used to do everything together, go shopping, watch movies, and talk about their day. But as Emily entered her teenage years, things began to change. She became more distant, spent more time in her room or out with friends, and started pushing back against her mother's rules. The conversations they once cherished turned into arguments, and Emily often responded with short, cold answers. Susan felt as though she was losing her daughter. The breaking point came when Susan found out that Emily had skipped school to go to a party. Feeling betrayed and hurt, Susan confronted her, and the argument that followed was explosive. Emily accused Susan of being overbearing, while Susan shot back, accusing her daughter of being disrespectful and irresponsible. That night, both felt devastated. Susan wondered if the close relationship they once had was gone forever. In desperation, Susan decided to reach out to a family counselor who introduced her to the concept of mindful communication, a practice rooted in Zen principles. She learned that instead of reacting to Emily's behavior with anger, she needed to approach her daughter with calmness and compassion, much like how Master Hakuen encouraged Yumi to flow like water. The next time Susan and Emily had a conversation, Susan made a conscious effort to listen without interrupting, without judging. She tried to understand Emily's perspective, even though she didn't agree with everything her daughter said. It wasn't easy, but it was the first time in months that they managed to talk without raising their voices. Susan realized that by showing Emily the respect of truly listening, she was demonstrating the very thing she wanted to receive in return: respect. It didn't happen overnight, but slowly, their relationship began to heal. Susan set clear boundaries, explaining the reasons behind her rules, but she also allowed Emily more space to make her own decisions. She treated Emily not as a child, but as an emerging adult, deserving of respect and autonomy. In time, Emily began to open up again, and their connection grew stronger, not through control or force, but through mutual understanding and respect.